Welcome into Sports Talk at the stadium from Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia. We're on this Saturday night. USC comes away with a 31-21 win over Missouri. So the famed Columbia Cup comes back to the Palmetto State, the little rivalry trophy between the two universities in respective Columbia cities. South Carolina wraps up a 5-game homestand with this win. It was homecoming, a beautiful day for football in Columbia, and the Gamecocks had to kind of overcome themselves early on. You could tell they had a little bit of a hangover from the Tennessee win last weekend, and so did the fans. It was far from full. They announced the crowd at 73,000 plus, but it was well short of that, and the crowd was late arriving, and the crowd was not emotional. The crowd did not give a real home field advantage in terms of disrupting the other team at all during the game, really. And so the Gamecocks had to kind of overcome that and overcome perhaps their own sluggishness. Throughout the week, the USC coaching staff, led by strength coach Jeff Dillman, set up mouse traps around the football complex and threw mouse traps at the players as a way of a symbolism, reminding them, don't eat the cheese, is what they were saying. Don't buy into all the hype about your win over Tennessee and all the good things that people were telling you. Continue to work hard, stay focused, and do the things that helped you defeat Massachusetts and Tennessee. So the team appeared to be a little bit sluggish early on. It took them a while to get going. It was a back-and-forth game, each team alternating touchdowns to where we had a 21-21 game in the third quarter. And then things turned big time. Missouri was driving, and Drew Lock, their fine quarterback, lofted a pass into the end zone against Rashad Fenton. He threw it into the wrong area. Fenton made a great play on it, interception in the end zone, actually the 2-yard line. And the Gamecocks set up their offense there, and then went on a 98-yard scoring drive. And that broke the tie, 28-21. Going into the fourth quarter, the Tigers missed a couple of field goals. Two different kickers missed field goals down here at the same end, heading towards the scoreboard. Elliott Fry kicked a field goal for the Gamecocks in the quarter to give them a 10-point edge, and they maintained that the rest of the way. Locke threw an interception on Missouri's last play of regulation into the end zone that Chris Moody intercepted, and that sealed it for South Carolina, a 10-point victory. It was USC's best offensive day in terms of total offense. First time this season the Gamecocks have been over 400 yards. Jake Bentley, you cannot say enough about what this freshman is doing right now. Poised, playing under control. Once again, did not throw an interception. He has thrown 74 passes now in his 3-game career without an interception. He's got 6 touchdowns to go along with that after a couple of more today. He just is playing well beyond his years and appears to be in complete control out there. He had a career-high passing yards. Rico Dowdle, the same as Bentley, a true freshman playing like a veteran. He had a career high in rushing. Debo Samuel had a career high in receptions and in receiving yardage. So all this came together for South Carolina offensively, and the result was their best offensive day of the year. They still need to clean up some things on the offensive line when it comes to pass blocking. Bentley was sacked 4 more times today, so he has been sacked. I believe the total is like 12 times, maybe 14 times. I think it's 12 times so far in the 3 games. So, but some of that's on him because he refuses to get rid of the ball and just throw it away. He tends to hang in that pocket and wait for the last minute to deliver the pass, and oftentimes that results in a big offensive play. But it also ends up in a sack too. So that's something that they still have to clean up a little bit. But I think they could not be happier with what they're seeing from Bentley right now. I mean, let's face it, they were pretty much dead in the water at quarterback going into their bye week until they decided to go in this direction, and it has paid off tremendously. Defensively, I mentioned Chris Moody, the interception. He also had a career high 11 tackles on the day. Of course, he was playing for DJ Smith in the first half because Smith was sitting out the first half after a targeting call last week. Chris Lamons was ejected in this game for a targeting call, and that is why Rashad Fenton came in to play corner to replace him, and that worked out well for South Carolina because Fenton made the big defensive play. So where does this leave South Carolina? Well, the homestand closes out 3-2. It started 0-2. It finishes 3-0. They have got a ton of momentum and a ton of confidence on their side now coming off this victory as they head to Florida to close out SEC play next weekend. And the Gamecocks are just one win away from clinching that very, very coveted sixth win to be bowl eligible. And who would have thought that back in mid-September, late September, that this team would be in position to go bowling, which would be huge in terms of extra practice, recruiting, and just adding to the resume and building on a 4-game bowl winning streak that Steve Spurrier left South Carolina. So a good day all in all for homecoming for the Gamecocks here in Columbia. They defeat Missouri 31-21, and now they'll get ready to go down to Gainesville to take on the Gators next Saturday. We have, of course, locker room post-game interviews with Will Muschamp and several of the players up on the website. And we invite you to leave your comments over the weekend on our What the Phone. The phone number is on the website. So if you have a comment you want to share with us about the game that you want played on Sports Talk on Monday, you can leave it there. Sunday night, we'll have coverage of Will Muschamp's conference call for you. And, of course, we'll talk about it on Monday night on Sports Talk, our observations as well as your comments as well. That'll do it. Sports Talk at the stadium on this Saturday night from Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia. Have a great weekend.